That's okay. I mean, it's a situation that was.
Response. The Hearts supporters felt as though their team had given up.
Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to the Andrew Irving Assist podcast, where we only want to talk about the Andrew Irving Assist from today's game against Morton. With me is Robert Borthwick. What was your favourite thing about Andrew Irving's assist today?
I like the assist.
Yeah? The whole assisty nature of it?
Yeah, just the whole thing. Yeah, all of it. Great.
Well, we'll get into the meat of the Andrew Irving assist later. I suppose we should mention that it came during a game at Capello against Morton. A 2-0 victory for Heart of Midlothian. Robert, do you have any feelings?
Do I have any feelings?
Yeah, no, that's what I want to get into.
They are long gone. I have some thoughts on how Hearts played, but I have no feelings.
Oh, well, I suppose that's relevant.
Yeah. No, I think before we get going, I just want to address a little bit of Hearts fan confusion.
Oh.
Certainly on my part, some confusion. I think on many other parts, confusion. So the whole thing, whereby obviously I've been a keen purveyor of beef. I'm a big beef fan. Mm-hmm. But I was confused at the Hearts fans who were saying, I will not give you a penny of my money for this stream. You will not get the maroon pound, Greenock Morton. But Greenock Morton voted with us.
Oh.
When it came to the whole vote thing. And they helped us try and get reconstruction through. But apparently they were upset at the fact we started training early. And that's why Hearts fans were then upset at Greenock Morton. All I'm saying is our Hearts fans getting a little bit too precious about who we do and do not give our money to. Like, what's the criteria for not giving these clubs the hard-earned maroon pound?
I think the problem is that beef is incredibly addictive.
Uh-huh.
And once you've got the taste for beef, once you've got that...
Once you've got the beef in the mouth.
Once you've salivated over some thick beef, you want beef wherever you can find it, even in places where no beef truly exists.
Well, but is this like the sort of beef and tomato pot noodle equivalent of beef, where it's not actual beef? You're told it's beef, but it's not. It's not real beef, is it?
No, it's beef crisps.
Yeah, exactly. It's beef flavouring. Mm-hmm. That's all it is. It's just it's a fine dust.
Fine dust of beef.
A fine dust of beef flavouring. That's all it is. I just wanted to address that confusion because I don't know where this... Does that make us scabs because we paid for it?
I was completely unaware there was any industrial action happening. This is what comes from... I try not to engage with
Hearts.
I got a vague wind of the stuff with Alloa last week. That was pretty fine beef as well, wasn't it?
Aye, but that was just on... That was all on Alloa just being a wee bit chippy.
Right,
just being like unnecessarily chippy with their Twitter account, which is a thing that's now been widely discussed because what's the fucking point? But no, I don't think there was any actual beef with Alloa. They're insignificant, aren't they? Just this little team at the bottom of the table.
Yeah.
Who knocked us out of the cup, but forget about that bit. So yeah, I mean there was little bits of beef there, but I didn't understand it with Morton, and I quite enjoyed the stream. I liked Jerry McDade and Andy Ritchie's jib.
Yeah,
the cut of it.
They were very engaging.
Yeah.
Like Homer's in a good way. Like like little snips at Paisley and things like that. You know,
aye.
It was nice.
Yeah, it was good.
It was nice. It was almost as nice at being at Capello, which we can't do yet.
Fucking
but someday.
That I can't go to Capello.
Ah well. But Hearts did.
They did.
And they took Jamie Walker with them.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
He scored a couple of goals.
He did. He scored 2 of them.
What did you feel about Jamie Walker?
What
did you think about Jamie Walker? We've established that
I
feelings
have no feelings.
Are off the menu.
Stop asking me about it, actually. I'm beginning to get a bit annoyed. Oh, wait, that's a feeling. Oh, no! Jamie Walker played off the left-hand side, which is quite an interesting one. I think we've seen him played centrally and on the right quite a lot, but he's played dispatched on the left. And I think like the main thing obviously will come onto his goals, but he was positionally a lot sounder playing out wide this time, in this game. And I think that's something we've kind of needed. I was talking to your friend of mine, Craig Fowler of the Terrace podcast, before the game. He was sort of saying we've not actually played with proper width since the Dundee game, when we had Roberts and Ginnelly on either wing. And the way we started this game was with Naismith wide right, Walker wide left, and they stayed there. And it allowed us to not only recycle the ball, but actually keep it in the opposition half, which is something that we sometimes struggle to do. Completely struggled that against Dunfermline, for example. So having that option on the wide left was quite good. I think he wasn't firing on all cylinders to start with the game, at the start of the game, sorry. And I think that, you know, his goal came towards half time, and I think that's when Hearts as a team really sort of grew into the game. Morton were getting deeper and deeper, which was allowing Walker to drop back, get a wee bit more space for himself, and finding space for himself is where his first goal came from.
Absolutely. My feelings and relationship with Jamie Walker has sort of vacillated on a spectrum between frustration and almost outright hatred for almost all of his Hearts career in both phases. He's an extremely frustrating man just because up until today his positional discipline has been woeful. I don't know what the coaching staff have managed to say to him to convince him to stay out left when he didn't have the ball, but he did do it today, and you're right. When he got the ball, he still carried it inside, but that's fine because when he's carrying it inside, he's got the ball, he's the threat. The main problem throughout his Hearts career, as I say, is that he's been drifting inside without the ball, which means that the opposition defence can just bunch in tight as they like and everything ends up bottlenecked. At least starting out left means they have to stay honest and stay wide to accommodate that. And if he's finally got this message, then that can only be positive for Hearts, because sparks of creativity are still sorely lacking, despite the return and the very welcome presence of Andrew Irving at the base of the midfield.
Sign him up. Give him a long contract. He is out of contract at the end of the season.
Oh dear.
Which has got real Aaron Hickey vibes about it. And I'm not enjoying it. You know, there's been conversations about us offering Ginnelly a deal and Kingsley an extended deal, but need to sign up Andy Irving, man. He makes us a better team. He makes all the midfielders beside him better. Mm-hmm. He brings wingers into the game. He allows strikers to drop deep. He takes the ball off the defence. He makes the team tick when he's in there. He has had some poor performances, but you'd expect that from a 19-year-old laddie. But generally speaking, he's the guy in the midfield that has some drive. Whenever he gets the ball, he looks forward. And he looks to pass the ball forward, run with the ball forward. He can shoot, he can cross. He's a threat, and he needs to play. And I think that's become very obvious again today.
I mean, I agree with you that he deserves and should be re-signed, but I'm not sure there's quite the same urgency that you're trying to put across there, simply because it's not impossible that we could sign a better central midfielder than Andrew Irving, but he is definitely better than everything else we've got in that position right now, which makes him absolutely vital right now. Now, I hope that he stays with Hearts and he remains long term and develops into the wonderful player that I think that he can be. That was just my counterpoint to your urgency about the need to re-sign him.
I don't like your counterpoint. I don't care for it.
Okay, that's fair.
I don't care for it. This is a dance that we saw last year and for 2 years with Aaron Hickey, and it ended in such a way that yes, we got a decent amount of money for him, a good, fine. But look to the past: Sam Nicholson, Callum Patterson, Jamie Walker. All these guys, because they were either on shortened or end of deal contracts, we basically didn't get any money for them. And it's a young player. Andy Irving is right now our best young player, and we need to be signing them up. The longer you let it go, the more chance there is. I mean, someone can start speaking to Andy Irving in 3 weeks.
Okay, but again, devil's advocate here. A player like Hickey and Patterson, I think the reason we weren't able to re-sign them is because they were clearly too good to have a long-term future at Hearts.
Which is very, very poor planning from Hearts. They should have seen and noticed that sooner.
Well, yes, but it's not to say they didn't. I mean, the players themselves might have noticed it and went, well, I don't want to tie myself down at Hearts because I want to make it as easy as possible for me to get the best possible move I can for myself. I don't know that's what happened, but if I'm in the position of an Aaron Hickey or a Callum Patterson, I don't particularly want to sign long-term for Hearts. In the cases of Nicholson and Walker, I think it's more like what I'm saying with Irving, in that nobody was particularly sure how good they were. So, Hearts perhaps aren't keen to tie them down to long-term contracts because they're not sure that they can't just get a better player in the open market. And they don't want to do a Callum Elliott thing of like tying down a mediocre player to a 5-year contract.
That goes completely against Hearts' entire ethos of why they've got the academy. You've got a good player that you know is going to improve in the future, a good player who's already playing consistently at the first team. You don't take a chance on that and say, well, you know, maybe we won't give him a deal, he might end up being shite. You extend his deal. He's still got until the summer, but you extend it.
Well, that's my argument. You don't know that he's going to get better. It's your best guess. And
you could
perhaps their guess is that he won't get better.
You can say that about anything. You can say that about signing a player in.
Sure.
If you're signing a player, that's even more money that's you know, going out of the club and going towards that player. There's no guarantee that player is going to be good.
There's more of a guarantee if you're signing someone with a track record.
What Hearts have done terribly in recent years is tie down youth players, exciting young players, onto good contracts that we then make money for them. That's the whole point of the academy, and we've not done it. We made some money from Aaron Hickey. Not enough money for Aaron Hickey.
Okay. My counterpoint to that would just be that perhaps the fault isn't in the planning of the contracts, is that the players aren't good enough to make money, apart from obvious ones like Aaron Hickey.
Well, if they're not good enough to make money, they're good enough to improve the first team, so sign them for that reason.
Okay. But here and now, Andrew Irving is Hearts' best central midfielder. Peter Haring's fitness pending. And his passing and speed of passing certainly made a difference today. Ollie Lee, it was interesting, was initially played at the 10 and then moved to right wing later on in the game. 10 was interesting because it helped reduce the drawbacks of his physical shortcomings.
He's slow as fuck.
Oh, he sure is.
Yeah, that's his physical shortcomings. He's quite strong, but he's so slow. Playing him in number 10, it did help a lot. It played more to his strengths, Ollie Lee, where it's sort of short passing, finding the winger, getting himself into the box. He had a few chances himself today. One that McAdams made a wonderful save from. And it did, like, you kind of saw that under Levine. Lee getting himself into the box, late runs, that's where he got the majority of his goals from. And again, you saw it again there today. Playing in more advanced positions is way better for him, because in centre midfield, he'll get overrun very easily. He's not very good under pressure, and there's a lot more sort of reliance on the more intricate passing, whereas I think his bread and butter is finding the simple pass, but certainly the available one. Gets his head up nice and quick.
And him receiving the ball on the edge of the box is what led to the first goal today. It was him who was able to sort of sort it out from under his feet and funnel it wide to Jamie Walker. Yeah,
it's a weird one. Like I can't work out if Ollie Lee's juggling and then clip to Jamie Walker is completely intentional. I don't know if that was a bobbly pitch that sort of forced him into juggling the ball a couple of times and then playing it out wide, but it found Walker.
The pitch was bobbly.
Fucking hell.
Jeez, oh.
Fucking hell.
Surprised Craig Gordon a lot at one point just how bobbly that pitch was. But yeah. Winter has hit Greenock and it's not treated it kindly.
No, it certainly has not. But no, it was a nice wee ball out from Lee, and then Jamie Walker just fucking thumped it into the ground. Just really kicked it very hard into the ground.
Do you think he intended to hit it in the ground, or was he trying to hit it a bit more sweetly?
It's one of those things. Like, I think it would maybe be a discredit to say that he didn't mean it. I think there's no way to know for sure, but certainly in those situations, if you punt the ball into the ground, it's
a legitimate tactic.
Yeah, it's a really effective way of finishing, because the goalkeeper's then caught in no man's land, which is exactly what happened. So I'm going to say that he meant it. I'm going to say it was a very smart finish.
What we can say is it certainly meant to hit the ball towards the goal and have it go in the net, and that's what it did. And that put Hearts 1-0 up.
Deservedly.
Deservedly, yes. Now, there's an argument that this game wasn't that wildly different from the Alloa game last week, in that Hearts were dominant and creating chances. It's just that Hearts managed to stick them away. Hard to say. I mean, I think performance-wise, Greenock were worse this week than Alloa were last week, but there's not a lot in it. But yeah, just Hearts were certainly getting more on target. I mean, the Greenock keeper had 2 or 3 very, very good saves to make in that first half.
Yeah, there was the ball in from Smith, the Whiting chance, and then tipping Ollie Lee's shot onto the bar, making a save from a sort of snapshot from Jamie Walker as well. We could have been kind of really comfortable going at half time, but McAdams made some really good saves. But it just shows, we're making opportunities, not just opportunities, we're making opportunities in the box. We were getting the ball into the box and there were spare men in there. I think the best save was easily the one from Ollie Lee's sort of prod towards the top corner. But no, we were creating chances. Again, it took us a bit of time to get into that. You okay?
Sorry, I'm just trying to workshop a joke about Andy Halliday making a prod towards the top corner, but it's not.
It's not forthcoming.
It's not coming together. I've given you the building blocks. You can put it together yourself at home.
It's fine. So yeah, we were creating chances, but again, we did have to work our way into the game. I think the bobbly pitch was a shocker, and Morton is what they do. They play 5 at the back and 4 midfielders, none of them particularly wide. So it's essentially 11 men in the middle of the pitch, which is very, very hard to break down. But we got there in the end. They just kept dropping deeper, and if you keep dropping deeper, then you're going to keep getting space closer towards the goal. So.
Yeah, and what was really positive about the immediate aftermath of the goal is that Hearts just started passing it around a lot more crisply. It didn't last very long, but it was interesting to see a team with confidence and a bit of a lift. Just how much more. Very, very briefly, this team was fun, which they normally are not.
Yes.
But then we got into the second half. Not long into the second half, Andrew Irving unleashes that beautiful crossfield quarterback throw down into the left channel for Jamie Walker to run on.
Absolutely. I mean, the pass itself kind of speaks for itself. It's a big diagonal ball, but he's timed it and weighted it absolutely perfectly for Walker. Again, sticking on the left, and him being on the left is what led to that goal. But Jamie Walker still has so much to do. His first touch on the chest as he's sort of running onto it is brilliant. He cuts back inside his man and curls it into the bottom corner. It's just a really, really good goal. The assist will rightly get all the plaudits, but I think Walker deserves a huge amount of credit for his role in it as well. It's a really, really, really good goal, and that's what Walker's capable of. When he's cutting in off the left on his right foot, that's what he can do.
I mean, not to dwell on the negative for Jamie Walker, but that's what makes him so frustrating. The fact that he definitely has those skills, he has that in his locker, and just someday it's got to click with him to hold a position, realise what he can't do as much as what he can do, and maximise his strengths rather than minimise them. But hopefully this is the start of that journey. And yeah, after that, Hearts just largely saw the game out. I think that really took the wind out of Morton's sails. They didn't have a lot to reply with. I mean, Muirhead possibly their most threatening player, but he's very much Robbie Muirhead. Very little else to say about the game other than good. I mean, this is what we want every week. This is the minimum expectation every week, and hopefully with some signings in January we can find a way to make it more consistently good and fun, because at the moment one injury to Ginelli and the team is very one-dimensional. I think Whiten showed in little flashes today that he does have something to contribute to the team, but in this system with the rest of the personnel around him, there's no way of playing to his strengths.
He's not a lone striker. In any stretch of the imagination is he a lone striker. It's just not his position.
See, he's a second striker ideally, but at the moment our only plan B for a primary striker when Liam Boyce is off colour. The only thing we could possibly do is put Craig Halkett up there,
or Jordan Roberts.
Yeah, but Jordan Roberts doesn't work.
No, it doesn't. But at least he's decent in the air. He wins headers, so at least that's something that is different, because Whiten and Boyce will not really win that many headers.
Yeah, which is why I think Halkett's our only plan B, and that would
never fucking happen, because he's our best defender by a considerable distance.
It depends who we play against, but even most teams in this division, I'd be concerned about playing a partnership of Berra and Popescu.
Oh. Absolutely fucking not. No.
Any idea when Suter's fit?
It'll be next year.
Yeah, not before we have the opportunity to sign a different type of striker.
Probably March.
Yeah. A different type of striker is a more realistic way out of this.
We said it in pre-season that we needed another striker.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it didn't come, so I think this was always going to kind of happen. Whiten's been decent. He scored some goals.
He has been decent, but he is like we say, he is talented, but in very, very specific ways.
Yes.
And unless you, to an extent, build a team around him, like sign players or coach players to play to specific strengths, and also, I mean, Mr. Joel Sked was saying this on another podcast this week, but he's not a lone striker. He can't play against packed defences, which is what we're going to play in almost all of the games that we play in the Championship. So
Morton played 5 at the back today.
Yeah,
and we
5 of them.
And we played a lone striker.
Well, yeah. Anything else to add on the game?
Don't think Craig Gordon had a single save to make.
He did one towards the end.
Oh, he did have one towards the end, that's right. Michael Smith was, again, just your solid 7 out of 10.
Yeah.
7 out of 10 guy. He was driving the team forward. He's one that looks like he properly has the guile and the style to play in this division consistently.
For a while.
Well, exactly. But he is the one. Him and Kingsley, actually, are the two that have consistently shown that they're absolutely just like, regardless of opposition, how stodgy they are, how difficult they are to play against, they're the two that will continue to be outstanding players for us. And Kingsley, although he didn't do much today, Smith did. Smith was great driving forward. I love him. He's another one that we need to sign up.
Oh, well, I absolutely
I
agree
don't
with
think
that.
we will. I think he'll probably leave. I think he's been got one eye down south for quite a while now, but hopefully
Well,
we can convince him. Win the Scottish Cup and just say, hey, stay.
like, instead of all that
We don't.
money,
We still can't offer you European football for this, but look at the trophy.
yeah. Instead of all that money and extra opportunity that you might have somewhere else, salt and sauce?
Yeah. Just make him captain or something. I don't know.
Oh, could you imagine it?
He's worn the armband before. Suits him.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. But
Just don't tell Stephen Naismith.
give them both captain's armbands and just say to the referee, look,
Like, it's fine.
Yeah.
Why is Michael leading the team out today? We didn't even notice. Both of them try to shake the referee's hand at the start.
Both of them have a pennant. We can dream.
Aye.
Right, great. Well, moving on then, and it's the songs, and
We had a debate about this beforehand. We did. It was a short debate.
yeah, look, it's undeniable that Jamie Walker scored both the goals, 100% of the goals in this game.
He did.
But we haven't sung a song about Andrew Irving yet, so I want to sing about Andrew Irving.
And I'm absolutely fine with that. It wasn't really a debate.
Are you ready to sing?
I am ready to sing. Are you ready to sing?
I am ready to sing.
Are you ready to sing first?
Ooh. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
Let's do it then.
All right. I mean, so was I, but that's fine. I'll give it to you.
I think
You've earned it.
everyone listening here read that as you foisting first on me. Nothing's going to change that. Andrew Irving, as if Andrea Pirlo was born in Portobello. Andrew Irving, his pass completion outstrips Smithy and Herring. Druzy Ving, relegation is nothing to be scared of. Druzy Ving, just run around and show us some more passing.
Yes.
Thank you, sir.
Fantastic. Now, the We Have No Cares purists will, of course, remember that song was used previously for Prince Buaben.
Had a wee tickle that I'd used it before, but I couldn't.
I don't know if
Couldn't be arsed thinking hard about it.
I don't think it was you who used it. I've got a feeling, was it Stuart Forsyth? Was it your friend of mine, Stu? Prince Buaben,
Well-
Hibernian, nothing to be scared of.
Well, yeah. Well, that happened. Well, it's disqualified then. Give us your winning entry.
No, I get so much better than mine. So I'm sure all of our listeners will be aware of the band James. And certainly aware of songs that didn't even make it to single or James the Best of James.
They certainly will. Stuart Forsyth certainly will.
Well,
to bring it full circle.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a lot of Stuart Forsyth mentions in this podcast. One of our few listeners. So he'll be delighted with that. But here we go. Sign Irving, pay Irving, anything. He's shown us everything. Just make him sign. Sign Irving, pay Irving anything. Play him beside Herring. Just make him sign. Walker's open, wide open, play him in. Assists that make us sing. Our Porty King. That is Say Something by James.
It certainly is.
Yeah.
And it's the winner by the 2 sweetest words on earth. Default.
Yay! Absolutely was so much worse than yours, but I'll take the default, thanks.
Fantastic. And
Is that a 3-0 win given to me for that one?
Yeah.
By DQ. Yeah.
Very appropriate for the week in Scottish football.
Do you know what's fun? Motherwell's top goal scorer is the SPFL this season. They've got double the amount of goals as Mark O'Hara.
You know what's fun? I'm absolutely shocked that the SPFL isn't Hamilton's top scorer this season. With 3. But I'm sure Adolphin's scored more than 3.
He has. Well, I mean, SPFL is joint top goal scorer in the entire league. They've got the same amount of goals as James Tavernier.
But I get the feeling that could continue through this very interesting season.
Yeah.
Wow, a little bit of Premiership chat for you at the end there, guys.
Remember
Hope
that.
you enjoyed it.
Remember that.
Yeah, we'll be back next year with more Premiership chat.
Here's hoping.
But we'll probably be back at some point soon if Hearts do something vaguely interesting.
I mean, well, we've got Queen of the South next week. The Doonhamers. They're coming to Tynecastle Park.
We watched them get roundly fisted by Cali Thistle last night. So
yeah, Cali Thistle. Yeah.
That one's free for any Cali Thistle podcasters out there.
Cali Thistle. Yeah, and then we've got a Scottish Cup final. So,
I mean, we'll probably have something to say about that.
I mean, either way, I would imagine we probably will. Yeah. No beef report on Queen of the South this week. I feel sorry for them. They are a bunch of men and Stephen Dobie, and that's it.
But, you know, they get to live in Dumfries, which is pretty Tory, but pretty.
Well, yeah, that's kind of it. That's it. It's, it looks nice, and then you remember how they vote.
And on that note, bye.
Bye then.
Steve Crawford.
Ah, yes, indeed, it's fun time.
Gute Flanke von Hemmel. Achtung, die Schotten im Strafraum, den 2:1 führen. Was für ein Weihnachtsgeschenk. Robbie Nilsson.
How was it difficult? What's difficult? We just got to beat them again, don't we?
Yeah,